YouTube, what's going on? It's one guy here with another video, and in today's video we're going to be doing the best available free agents that the Washington Redskins should attack or should sign. So it's crazy when I bring out the notepad, man. I never bring out the notepad, but for this video I had to write down a few players that I had in mind that the Redskins should go get, not saying that they will go get. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case my Washington Redskins, or should I say our Washington Redskins. And we're on the road to 500. Halfway there, man. So get me there. Need about what, 40, 50 more subscribers. So get me there, man. We're really growing fast. Let's get straight into today's video. So the most positions that the Redskins need the most is only 3 positions: cornerback, safety, and tight end. In my opinion, I know people like to say offensive line, but we really starting to get stacked at offensive line, man. We really are. We have Wes Martin fighting, and Wes Martin and Wes Schwartz are fighting for that left guard spot. And all of our linemen, I'm not going to say all, but majority of our linemen are versatile. So they all can play different sides of the line, whether that's right guard, right tackle, left tackle, center, etc. You know what I mean? So we're really starting to become stacked here. So that's why they include offensive line here. So let's start off with the cornerback. I wrote down 3 cornerbacks. I wrote down 3 cornerbacks, and the first cornerback that I wrote is probably the best available cornerback, who really should have gone when all of the cornerbacks were still available, such as a James Bradbury. Who else was the top corner? James Bradbury is the only one I can really think off the top of my head at the moment. But when all the top corners got paid, he should have really got paid too. And that's Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan is coming off probably his best year as a pro. Logan Ryan, he's 29 years old. In 2019, Logan Ryan had 113 combined tackles, 40 assist tackles, 4.5 sacks, which is really good. Almost 5 sacks for a cornerback. 5 sacks, 4.5 sacks, 4 interceptions, and he returned it for 16 yards. That is the best season that Logan Ryan, in my opinion, has had as a pro. He's really coming off a high year, and he's coming off of probably, like I said, the best year of his career. And I really don't understand why the Titans didn't pay him. But I mean, you franchise tag Derrick Henry, and you just gave Ryan Tannehill what, 119 million, I want to say. So I can see why you didn't do that. But his career stats was 494 tackles, 127 assist tackles, 11 sacks, and 17 interceptions, and return for 183 yards. So those are really quite some stats. Now, the only thing about Logan Ryan is that he does play the slot predominantly, and we did go out and re-sign Kendall Fuller back. Well, we didn't re-sign him, but we signed him back to the Washington Redskins. And Logan Ryan, he's predominantly a slot, but he can play the outside at times, but we know his best work comes from in the slot. So that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of teams, including the Washington Redskins, have not, went to go sign Logan Ryan, because he is a slot, and a lot of teams already have their slot guy. So I mean, he can play the outside, but that's not where his best work is coming at. So moving on to the next corner, he's probably up there in age, the oldest one on my list for sure, and that is Aqib Talib, 34-year-old Aqib Talib. Now, I know what you're probably saying is Aqib Talib is towards the end of his career. No need to pick Aqib Talib, but man, he's a knucklehead at times. He plays aggressive, man. He likes to get in the wide receiver's head. That's one thing I like to like about Aqib Talib. I don't think he's a knucklehead at all. I think he's just a trash talker that could back it up back then. Probably not now. He's 34 years old. We know that drama last year where he was on the Rams and he got traded to the Dolphins at the last moment and stuff like that. So he didn't play last year. So he's towards the end of his career, but I feel as though if we sign him, who's to say that he has to play? Maybe he can just mentor the young guys to get that aggressiveness out of them. You know what I mean? So who's to say that he has to play next year? Who's to not say that he can just be a veteran, have a nice little role as a backup, and then mentor the young guys that we have here? Kendall Fuller, he's a vet, but you still can learn from a veteran. Jimmy Moreland, Fab Monroe, all the corners on this team can learn from a likes of Aqib Talib, who's really was a top corner in the league in his prime when he was with the Broncos and etc. So, excuse me right there, but he is I think a Hall of Fame corner for sure. If not a Hall of Fame corner, but he's right under a gold jacket, because Aqib Talib really had a great career. Now it's winding down because of health issues, and just teams doesn't really want him anymore because he's older in age. I think he will be, or could be, a great veteran for the Washington Redskins. So let's move on to the last corner that I wrote down. And the last corner that I wrote down is really yet another older corner, and that is Prince Amukamara, who the Bears did not re-sign. He didn't do really nothing last year as a Bear, but he, like I said, he can also have that Aqib Talib role where he is a veteran. Who's to say that he has to play? Why? I'm just saying he can be a veteran to mentor another guy such as the Jimmy Morelands, the Ronald Darby's. Even though Ronald Darby is a veteran, he still can learn from a veteran. Prince Amukamara, we know he killed us when he's with the Giants, man. He caused us so many nightmares, such as a DRC2. Maybe we can get DRC in here. Who knows? But I only wrote down 2 guys that really were veterans that can help our young core because we're going young. And why not bring in a veteran that doesn't have to play but can more so be that player coach, if you know what I mean. So let's move on to the next much needed position, and that is safety. Now, the first safety that I wrote down on my list was Tony Jefferson. Tony Jefferson was the ex-Baltimore Raven, 28 years old. And the Baltimore Ravens cut him because they didn't want to pay him that $11 million that he, I don't want to say demanded, but had left on his contract. So they just released him, or cut him, I should say. And predominantly, Tony Jefferson, I wrote it down here, he's always healthy. He's always healthy. He missed most of 2019 because of a knee injury, but before, he only played in 4 games. But before that, listen here, before that, he played in 98 games, 68 games started. This is the only year where he only played 4 games. Other than that, he's normally playing 15, 16, 14 around there. I know you want your safety on there for every game, but he's on an average 14, 15, 16 every year. So this is the only year where he didn't play a full season or almost a full season because of a knee injury, and injuries happen. So I really think we should get a Tony Jefferson. The Ravens again cut him because they didn't want to pay him that money. And why should they? They have Earl Thomas there for that spot, and they can also get younger. 28 is not old at all, but they just moved on. So I really think we should bring in a Tony Jefferson, who's already proven in the league, and then he can also be a good fit when healthy. Is a good safety in doubt. Who's to say that he has to start? Like I said, for all these positions, these are just depth pieces, or maybe even just bring them in to fight for a starting spot. We need the competition at the safety spot because all we have is the curl dude we just drafted from Arizona, not Arizona, Arkansas, the Razorbacks, and then we have Sean Davis, Landon Collins, Troy Apke. We need the Shades of Everett if you want to throw him in there, even though he's a special teams guy. You can throw him in there too. We just need competition at the safety position. So who's to say Tony Jefferson even makes it out of training camp? Just bring him in for a body to have competition at the safety spot to make sure the guy that you're putting out there on opening day earned his spot, and you're going to get the best out of him. I think Tony Jefferson would be a good fit, man. I honestly think he would. He had 4 interceptions in his whole career and returned it for 1 touchdown. Now, the last safety on my list was Rashad Jones, the Dolphins safety. He's 32 years old, and we all know who Rashad Jones is. He's probably the best person on this list, if I'm being honest, man. 2-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro at one point in his career. He played in 4 games last year. I'm predominantly short due to injury. And they had Minkah Fitzpatrick at the start of the year, but I don't think that had anything to do with it. But looking at his stats, he played in 4 games last year, like I said. In his career, he played in 128 games, started 113 games, 21 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, 55 pass deflections, and 3 forced fumbles. Those are some great stats for Rashad Jones. He's 32 years old. Like I said, he's probably at the end of his career, but bring him in to compete for a spot. I think he could start on this team. Who knows, man? He plays cornerback, safety is really his starting spot, but you can move him down to cornerback. And he can play both of the safety spots, but I really think we need to stick him at free safety if we was to get Rashad Jones to pair up with a Landon Collins, like to show maybe a Sean Davis how it's done, and then the following year Sean Davis could take over, unless Sean Davis is shocking us like we all think he will, and a lot of even the coaching staff think he will shock the Redskins nation. So the last position I wanted to talk about here before we get out of here is tight end. Now, I only wrote down 2 tight ends, and that is Delanie Walker and Charles Clay. The reason why I said bringing in Delanie Walker is because, you know, first of all, there's not a lot of tight ends left on the list. But as of right now, Delanie Walker and Charles Clay are the 2 top tier on the rest of the free agent list. As far as tight ends go, I think that we need to bring him in because he has that veteran presence. I've been rooting to bring in Delanie Walker, not even when free agency first started. I think we need to bring in a Delanie Walker to have people, or should I say, to mentor the young people, like I'm saying for the safety positions, mentor the wide receiving core. You know, just be a leader, man. You don't even have to just do it specifically just for your group, your position group. Do it for the whole team, but specifically for your position group. Since we don't have any tight end that's really proven since we let go of Jordan Reed, and they're all relatively young. Come in there and mentor the guys. Show them how it's done. Delanie Walker is really a Hall of Fame tight end. When healthy, is probably one of the best tight ends in the league. He's a Pro Bowler, and he's an All-Pro tight end. Probably he's past his prime, of course, but when he was in his prime, we know how good Delanie Walker was. So he can bring them in, you know, mentor the young guys such as a Hill Hedges, a Jeremy Sprinkle if we keep him. Thaddeus Moss, of course, who we hope and think is going to be the starting tight end for the Washington Redskins. But, of course, he has to prove it. He has to prove it. There's a reason why he went undrafted. That is unknown to some of us. So he has to prove that he's going to be the starter here. He can, you know, he can mentor Logan Thomas too, maybe Hill Hedges, like I said, Thaddeus Moss, Jeremy Sprinkle, Richard Rodgers if he makes the team, which I don't think he will, but who knows. So that's really all I wanted to talk about here today. Was a couple players from the most needed positions that the Washington Redskins need, such as a safety, a cornerback, and tight end. So let me know what you guys think about my list. Do you like my list? Who would you bring in at those positions? Like, comment, subscribe, hail to the Redskins. And one thing I want to say before I get out of here was to maybe, if we was to sign one of the guys, sign them to a 1 year or maybe 2 year deal, which I'm pretty sure they will, because you know Ron Rivera that's been the trend for the Washington Redskins to sign them to a 1 year proving deal. So I would do that for all of these guys here on this list. Maybe outside of a Logan Thomas or outside of a Logan Ryan, he's probably the only one on this list that deserves a multi-year deal. Like, comment, subscribe, hail to the Redskins. This is me, boy Juan Gotti. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Who would you switch out, or who do you agree with my list? Who do you think the Washington Redskins should go sign to fill in the positions of needs? Like, comment, subscribe, hail to the Redskins. It's me, boy Juan Gotti. I'm out. Peace.